Today we're going back to the days of the video store. I used to work at a video store. I loved video stores. It was a special time. A lot of people talk about Blockbuster. Blockbuster wasn't where it was at, though. The home, mom and pop video store, that was the place to go. They just had, there was something special about it. You'd get to know the employees, whereas Blockbuster, those employees were cycling in and out, and, it was very corporate. But the mom and pop place, I mean, like, if you got to know them and there was a type of thing you liked, they would order it just so you'd come in and rent it. It was much more. I always think of it almost like a butcher, like you can get lunch meat anywhere, but you can go to a butcher and get perfect, the way you like it lunch meat. And I thought that was the deal with the mom and pop video stores. You go there, ask questions, and they would answer them. Speaking of which, you got a question for me, ask it in the comments. Also, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with a friend, and let's go. Today we're talking about these videotapes. When I worked at the video store, these two specifically, we're going to talk about a bunch of different ones. Look at these things. They look exactly the same. So The Firm came out when I worked at a video store, and very shortly after The Firm came out, we noticed this Tom Berenger film that was about like 10 years old at that point had the exact same cover. Like even this path that he is running up on The Firm, like almost mirrors the collar of the priest that Tom Berenger is playing on Last Rites. We've got like within the face, we've got like a scene that we can see. It's kissing on that one, on the other one it's running. But I mean, this really struck me as odd. So what we did at the store I worked at was we had a wall of The Firm, because The Firm was a hot new release. We did not have a wall of Last Rites, but we had one copy and nobody knew what Last Rites was. So we would take the box for Last Rites and just put it in there, and no one ever noticed. It was like we did it as a gag to see if anyone would notice. No one did. This is not the only identical matching cover that I've ever seen, though. There are more, and here's the next one. I never saw The Snapper. I don't know anything about it. It was one of the year's top 10 movies. I don't remember what year that was. 2 thumbs up by Siskel and Ebert. Sometimes you would see thumbs up, and it would just say, like, Gene Siskel. And that meant Roger Ebert was like, ooh, I don't like this. But they said this was one of the year's funniest. I never saw it. No idea. Can't... It's as charming as The Commandments, which, again, no idea what that is. On the flip side, we've got Kirstie Alley, Sex, Relations, Family Relations. Brother, does Marjorie wish she was no relation? I mean, that's kind of a confusing. It's almost confusing to read. It's confusing to look at. We do have the logo down there of Castle Rock, I think it was. It was like people that did like Seinfeld and a bunch of movies. I think Shawshank Redemption, maybe. But similar, 2 women holding the blankets. I don't know. They're in bed. They're doing laundry. They're joining the KKK. I don't know what they're doing, but they've got the sheets. They're ready to put them up. I hope it's laundry. If either of these movies is just about laundry, I'm tuning in. Otherwise, I'm out. But these kind of matched. I thought they were interestingly matching. All right. We've got the classic Spring Break where the men are putting the flag up on the woman. They're Iwo Jiming the flag. I don't know. I think it's terrible. What's the... Hello, ladies. What's the slogan here? It says, like it's really totally the most fun a couple of bodies can have, Spring Break. There it is. And then on the other side, we've got this is a 20th Century Fox Selections title, a seductive new comedy from the producers of The Full Monty, American Women. And they're sort of doing the same. They're not doing it as well, to be honest. Like if I got to choose between the two, and we are getting like the blue and white stripe on the bikini on Spring Break. On American Women, they're planting the flag in her belly button, which seems like it would make more sense, but it's sort of a less titillating picture to begin with. Like that other one, I'm grabbing Spring Break. I'm 19 years old walking through the aisle. Ooh. But I would definitely say Spring Break did it better. They're planting, it says American Women, and they're planting the Irish flag on the other one, which is why they've, but I don't know. And if you look, the other flag says Spring Break, and it's got the palm tree, which almost is playing the part of the 4-leaf clover there on the And is that the Irish flag? I can't imagine it's a fourth. I think they were like doing the Irish flag and they like pulled people and they're like, is that the Italian flag? Is that the German flag? What flag is that one? And then they're like, all right, we'll just do a Lucky Charms flag. But there you go. These two, only similar at the bottom half, but boy, those legs are very similar. Casanova, I don't remember this movie. Also Italian for beginners. No idea. Very similar covers. Scream 2, Chucky. Now, this is intentional. These other ones before this, I think, are accidental. I don't think they were done on purpose, but these two, absolutely intentional. I remember Bride of Chucky. I thought that was real funny. It was a nice reimagining of it. Scream 2, I'm trying to remember the order of the Scream movies, but if Scream 2 is the one where the guy, in order to get back at Sidney Prescott, and I'm spoiling Scream 2 or 3, I can't remember which one I'm spoiling, but in order to get back at her, a guy became a film director so that he could make a movie and then come and chase her around at school. If that's the one, that might be 3. Maybe 2 is the one where she's at college. Jerry O'Connell's in it, and like the Roseanne's sister was. Either way, I don't know what Wes Craven was doing. There was a lot. I think it wasn't really his fault, but there was a lot of pressure to make these movies have a surprise twist ending because the first one did. But I felt like almost you should go the opposite. You know, don't have a surprise. Do something new because we're all waiting for the surprise. The surprise, at least to me, was never going to hold up. All right, what's next? I like this because Speed, they always said Speed was Die Hard on a bus, but now looking at them side by side, my God, they really, I mean, that's quite a ripoff. You've got Die Hard, you've got the plane over there with the flames. On Speed, you've got the bus with the flames. At least Bruce Willis is noticing it. Keanu Reeves is like, I will stare dead ahead. He's doing that action man, like running away from the flames and not stopping for them. I don't know. All right. Shrek and the Incredibles. Similar, very similar. I think there is a similarity to these that you cannot deny. There you go. That's the first Shrek. I do remember that I liked the second Shrek better than the first one. The Incredibles, maybe the first one was better. I don't remember. Like the second one, I remember there was a character named Void who I thought was interesting. I remember like vague parts of it. I don't know. Cartoon movies, they're fun. You bring your kids to them. That's what I remember doing, is falling asleep during these movies. I think The Incredibles 2 had like a epilepsy warning, I think, at the beginning of the movie, which I remember being like scared of. Like, because I worry. You never know. I mean, you never know what's going to happen to you. How do you know that you're not going to be affected by that? But thankfully, I think I made it through. Again, I think I slept through some of it. All right. Here we've got... This is a stretch, but we've got 3 different superheroes. I don't know. I haven't seen Underworld. I don't know if it's a superhero, but I know Catwoman certainly was and Daredevil was. These were, I don't know how Underworld did at the box office, but the other 2 I know underperformed. So it's underperforming superheroes standing on the edge of a building in those. All right, here are eyeball movies. These are all movies where they're just like, we're putting an eyeball. The 2 that I originally thought of, and then I found this image where somebody had put all of them together. The 2 that I thought of were Godzilla, which is on the top row. Godzilla was like 1999. This is the Size Does Matter one. And then 2 down from it, Dinosaur, the Disney movie. I was like, those are eerily similar because, you know, same kind of lizardy dinosaur texture to their eyes, and they came out a couple years apart. I felt like they were on the shelves pretty close together. There's some other ones on here that certainly Candyman, everybody remembers, with the, I don't remember Chucky having an eyeball poster that's on the top row there. I don't know, I guess it could have. Some of these might have been re-release posters, or, you know, sometimes the VHS would have a different cover than the poster for theaters. One of the things about that, I used to always want the theater poster, because theater posters I found were always so much better. They were more detailed. They were designed to draw your attention to this very large thing. If you look at really old movies, you know, going back to like the 70s, they did a lot of bus ads and just giant posters outside theaters back before you had all the multiplexes. And so those posters would be so detailed, all little detail, usually painted. And then as time went on, they made them simpler. popular, and certainly in the VHS era. All right, here is the hero with his back to you posters. There's certainly a lot of those. A loner in the dark. And then these, I definitely see Pretty Woman as like the originator, or at least the one to popularize this. And then you see a lot of other, like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, The Game Plan, 4 Christmases, I think it was. If I remember correctly, it's right below Pretty Woman where they're wrapped up in the bow. If I remember correctly, like one of the Christmases was really good. It's like, not all of them were that good. I hope you like this video. If you do, click like, and also click this box right here. Also, there's another box over there. Look at this, boxes. And while you pick your box, I'm going to look here, see what else is on here. What do we got? Adam's Rib, 2 Weeks Notice. That's a weird movie. That's where Sandra Bullock has to go to the bathroom on a bus. It's like in Speed.